Hey there friends, welcome to the Arctic and to capitalism. Sunset Gardens sees its wildest edition, an Arctic Christmas themed zone featuring some animals and a lot of ways for visitors to spend money. Join me on our latest adventure. Yes, you saw that right and you heard that right. Sunset Gardens has gone full Disney, has gone full PAIRI DAIZA, splurging on a new area that is just as much an exhibition of the Arctic regions of the world as much as it is just a cash grab shop Christmas themed extravaganza. So let's jump straight into it and see what it has on offer. In contrast to most of the zoo, this part clearly has some imported foliage, which is probably going to be one of the only places in the outdoors area of the zoo that will have this. So coming out of this aviary, we approach Isvik. Isvik is just, it just means ice bay, pretty much ice lake. I think ice bay it was. And the first building that we're coming up to, let me just show you what it is. This building is the big Arctic restaurant that we have here. It is called, let's say it's called Isbu, and it is based on an actual building. It is inspired by an actual building called Isba, which is the lakeside restaurant in PAIRI DAIZA. You can see it right here. It's not a complete copy, of course, and I cut some corners and it's not perfect, but I think that the overall feel of this building was preserved, and the way it looks here at the edge of the lake is pretty cool. So there's no interior, don't go looking for one, but I had a lot of fun building the exterior for sure. So that is a bit of a appetizer here for what you're going to see when we arrive. And I think actually I'm going to start with might just be the best habitat of the bunch. To your right you can see the habitat for the musk ox, which is a fantastic animal. And I just had a lot of fun building this very interesting color palette. First of all, the plants you see here are not meant to be Arctic plants for the most part. They are meant to be dry grasses. But when I went and looked for the actual habitat that these animals live in, very sparse, very few trees, rocky, and then these very like naturalistic greens and browns and flowering plants everywhere, and then this little glacial lake with the great waterfall and everything, and it just felt like the perfect fit. And I think if I change the lighting a bit, I think it works better in some lighting than others. I mean, have your pick really what time of day you want to look at this. I am very happy with the wavy undulating terrain here. These, like, I didn't even mention it, these are meant to be like fake snow rocks, right? These are just fake rocks painted white to make it look like you are in a snow-capped region. But yeah, this is just such a cool habitat, and I will say I posted this on the Bro Nation Discord and it got a very positive reception by some builders I really look up to, and that really made me happy. Just knowing that I was able to impress someone who, you know, impresses me on a daily basis is really cool. So yeah, I had a lot of fun building this one. And yeah, we turn towards this part. Yeah, I know that PAIRI DAIZA does this, and I did it as well. I added this like whole very much food and restaurant and shop oriented little village here, and not just PAIRI DAIZA that does it, but it's also sort of meant to be a theme park experience. This is the hub where you would go and have drinks, have food, and especially in winter, I imagine this being the actual hub of the zoo. But this is a building, it is based on a blueprint that I tried to imitate, but this is also meant to be a bit of a hotel experience. The Musk ox. I think you can sort of tell what language this is and why does it have this cool electric effect. That's kind of weird. But this is the hotel where you can sleep and wake up with, oh, look at them. Awesome. Thank you for showcasing it, friends. So cool. Look at them migrating over the hill over there. So cool. I'm in love with this habitat. I think I generally started this video off with the best one of the bunch. But yeah, this hotel, and then you get some milkshake or smoothies. We're not going to go there just yet. I know I've teased it a bit, but we're not going to go there just yet. We're going to approach the Isvik Christmas village right over here. To the left you have the entrance area of Isvik. And to the right you have something that actually also came from PAIRI DAIZA. They have a little train museum over there. Because, you know, everyone who wants to aspire to be like Disneyland, you gotta have trains, right? So I put a little train museum in here. I mean, inside is nothing to really be impressed by, but I had a lot of fun building in this Arctic style. The Arctic pack really was used a lot by me here. And I know it's a bit of a niche pack, you can't use it for a lot of things, but it really delivered on this part. And then you get this central plaza here. This tree is a blueprint by Frontier, but it just did fantastically. It did exactly what it needed to do here. But look at, I had a lot of fun building this. Clearly, you can imagine when you come here, there would be like fake snow being pumped into the air every now and then. You would have Christmas music. Knowing the PAIRI DAIZA Zoo actually plays a lot of like video game soundtrack stuff, and I kind of wonder if they actually have paid for it. They would probably be playing some sort of off-brand Frozen-esque music here through the speakers. But I had a lot of fun making these shops and these very almost immersion-breaking signs. Pieces you don't see used very often, really. But you get Friet, Monsieur Friet, Bernie's Bakes, an old church, well, a fake church that's actually, you just have to imagine it, I didn't build it, is actually an ice cream, like a whole ice cream branded store in here. What am I saying? A milkshake store, yes. And then this whole coffee shop, another building that I based on a blueprint and just did my own stuff with it, adding this lovely dash of purple. I could have done more of that. I might have added a second one, but look at our Abbey Tower always showing its face during these videos. But yes, this is a coffee store. Then you get the restroom over here in this classic Arctic style. And the gift shop. The gift shop, I did do an indoors section. It's not that cool. It's not a cool interior at all. I think the highlight here really is the window that you get outside, and you get this really unique view to the terrace of Isvik, and you get this very eclectic, very weird haberdashery of views, really. With the monkey rock and the goat rock and everything, and the little spires there for the older buildings, the little folly with the T-Rex skeleton. It's such a wild zoo at this point, and I really want to finish it, to be honest. I think I can pull it off if I drastically reduce some of the ambitious plans I had. But yeah, and then you get these braziers here, making sure the square is nice and warm. And you might have caught a glimpse here and there of a very standout feature right over there, so let's just approach it, because of course the animals also have a part to play in this section of the zoo. There's not that many of them, but I think the reveal will be nice. You get this little hill here, we are rising up, and there you get a mountain with a little bit of forced perspective going on here. And in case you recognize it, there you go. There's also the polar bear reveal, of course, but this is meant to evoke the mountain from Frozen, right? The song Let It Go, the ice palace that Elsa builds right next to this mountain, the northern mountain, and very much a nod to that, very much a Disney-esque nod to like their theme parks with a lot of forced perspective, mountains and everything. I think they have an actual northern mountain, also the Matterhorn, I think Mount Everest, whatever it is. But this is also, of course, you can get even more food up here, get some smoothies, gather around this statue, and check out one of our two polar bears here. this really unique view with just the sky behind them and the mountain here. It is not that tall. It is a pretty tall thing. You just have to imagine this being pretty much completely constructed out of faux rocks and everything. This as well. I know, guys, I took a lot of leaps here in terms of realism. I know the polar bear can escape this pretty easily. But hey, I mean, at this point we're just having fun, right? In Planet Zoo 2, I'll return to more realistic scenes. And yes, the polar bear can swim down here, and there you get its friend down there. One fun thing I did here, and I just want to point it out, the water here is actually colored very dark, almost black, but very dark gray, and really gave this interesting, like very cold feel. Do you know what I mean? The water looks cold. It looks like it's cold, like it's from the north. But you might tell that there's actually something else going on. So we get to this very, very in-your-face Chief Beef franchise, and then you get this little island here that is actually very bare. I would kind of hope that one of the animals that lives here wants to show it off. So let's do a little jump cut here. There you go. Being enveloped by the polar bear habitat, which you can sort of tell wraps around it, is the walrus habitat. We have a couple of them in here. I'm so happy this mod appeared, and a lot of really talented people came together and pulled this off, and it's such a good mod because I know it's based off of, I think, the sea lion, but somehow they managed for the most part to make it look and move like a walrus, and it feels like slower than the sea lion, and this really big feel of it. And then of course what I also tried to do with the grizzly bear is what I did here as well with the polar bear, which of course famously is one of the an animal that preys on the walrus. And as you can tell, I moved it up there. You get this prey predator view here, and you could almost imagine that the polar bear can get on top of this like rocks and go and eat the walrus. It cannot, because there is obviously a moat between the walrus and the polar bear. You know, once again flirting with realism here and there. Some parts of this habitat are real looking, like this barrier I think is just like, you can imagine this being completely non-traversable to polar bears, but other things in here really flirt with the limits of realism. But I think that's the fun of this game and of this zoo as well. So yeah, the walrus habitat inside this like U-shaped polar bear habitat, and then you sort of get whisked away from this view to why not a Mexican food stand, and then you get your final view, kind of a hidden view here. But if you really want to, you can get a final view here of this section, and it's kind of deliberately held back from you because the main deal is right over there, and I'll tell you all about that. I'm deliberately not showing you some stuff behind me because that is for later. So we're going to run back past the walrus and the polar bear. By the way, yes, I keep saying this, but this is again loosely inspired, or less than loosely, quite heavily inspired by PAIRI DAIZA's walrus and polar bear section, which also has this boardwalk. It has these, heavy timber stores and restaurants, and it has sort of this effect that you can see the polar bear, then the walrus, then the polar bear. And if you know PAIRI DAIZA, then you know there's also stuff beneath us, and that's what we're going to check out right now, because I went all in on the theme park-esque feel here, beyond just the Arctic village here, the Christmas village. So we're just gonna run right back over here, and probably gonna have to do a lot of jump cutting here just to make it really stand out. So right over here you get this, it's not meant to be real, it's meant to be fake, but you know, like they try to make this look like some sort of workshop for ice sculptures, or where they store ice. And what you get to the left is the ice mine. Whatever that means, whatever an ice mine is, this is an ice mine. Whether it's some sort of mineral that looks like ice, whether for some reason they're somehow mining ice out of the ground, whatever it is up to your imagination. But I just had fun making this really feel like sort of the queue for a theme park. So we're going to head into this mine shaft here, even making use of the very rarely used Arctic path here. Once again, here it's not meant to be actual ice in universe of the zoo. It's meant to be just like some sort of glass pathing or whatever they would build this out of. So we descend into the ice shafts here. And one of the things I try to do here is the deeper you get into the quote-unquote mine, the more of this sort of ice/mineral would reveal itself. So the first viewing window here would get you a view of the polar bear deep diving, and let's do a little jump cut and actually get them to do that. There you go. Yes, PAIRI DAIZA also has this. I mean, lots of zoos has this, but the first place that I ever saw a polar bear swimming in a very tall underwater window was PAIRI DAIZA. I know I've said that zoo's name a lot, but look at this, it's so cool. Again, it's not very realistic, and you can talk to me about that, but this is not meant to be. This is meant to be a fantastical place for sure. So you get polar bear deep diving, and then you move on in a little bend here, and I'm going to reveal to you at the end why there is a lot of bends here in this place. Here you get the viewing window too, and if you take the route from the Musk Ox straight here, you might expect seeing the polar bear again, but there you get the walrus here, zooming past the male and the female here. And yeah, these are so cool. Huge animals, in case you haven't seen them in real life and haven't seen them swim. They're so big, and it's so much fun to see them swimming. And they're also just really like charismatic animals. I slept in the hotel room at PAIRI DAIZA with the underwater walrus viewing, and they just were so active. They swam past. But also, like, especially the male was so like interested in you. Oh yes, there we go. And this is the big reveal, the big room here, where you get a viewing window in both the polar bear and I wish they'd actually come over here and show it. Yes, the polar bear and the walrus in one view in this. Look, I'm fully capable. I would have been fully capable to build this out of like more construction pieces and make this look like a room with, you know, with timber, with concrete. I could have done that, but I'd have chosen for this more theme park feel deliberately, right? So you can get on my ass about that all you want, but you get the polar bear deep diving in its second pool here, and you get the walruses, and they actually have a window in between them. But Plant Zoo doesn't render it quite the way you would want it to, so they can actually see each other, which would add just a little bit of tension and I guess behaviors between the two of them. Thank you for showcasing it so well. And then yeah, the best walrus view is kind of pure capitalism, is actually reserved for hotel guests. I didn't build a hotel, I'm sorry guys, but actually the best viewing here will be for the hotel rooms, where you would get the best views for the walrus and the pole, and not the polar bear, but you would get the best views for the walrus if you book a hotel room and spend a lot of money on it. So then at the end of this experience is a little bit of a surprise that I haven't shown you yet, haven't told you about, but you ascend, but you're not quite out of the cave just yet. Your path here is lit. I'm gonna have to get rid of this right quick. Your path is lit with these stars, and then you enter this little thing, and what looks like a sunlit path is actually an underwater tunnel for another really cool animal that lives in these regions. There you go, the sea otter. Yes, I very last minute decided to place the sea otter into this and give them a rather large big pool for a whole bunch of them to swim around in. They're not really deep diving at the moment, but of course they, I tested this habitat, they can do it, but of course they don't want to showcase it to me right now. There you go, there you get the feel. So you get this large underwater tunnel with the sea otters all around you. Such a cool little moment. And I think I told you about this in the previous video, I believe, but just think, no, I told you about this in the tour of Eben, like the ease with which you'll be able to do this in the future, like build these underwater tunnels, will raise the roof for beginners, make it easier for people to make things that really look cool, but it will also raise the ceiling considerably for experienced builders, right? With the tools that are now accessible to everyone, because building this underwater stuff is finicky. As you can tell, the lighting changes when you enter it, but it's going to be so cool, the things you can do, what with all of the null barrier options and everything, and just all of the crazy ways that you can incorporate these tunnels. Like, I don't know what you're gonna be able to do with it, but imagine an underwater tunnel that has a viewing of like fish in one side and terrestrial animals in the other. Who knows what you'll be able to do. But leaving behind this section here, this is also an optional way into the mine. Actually, if you just walk through here and then realize, oh, I missed something, you can come over here, you can stand outside and check out the sea otter right over here and right over here. So let's do a quick zoom out of the whole section, because it deserves to have this little moment. The musk ox habitat right over here, the big restaurant, the little Arctic village, which I did in scale imagine a whole other second street up here that didn't quite come to fruition, but hey, I'm just having fun with this. And then you get, as you can tell, there's lots of ugly stuff going on here that you don't see. Same with the mountain. It has no back. It is just a complete facade. But that is the polar bear and the walrus. Initially, I made this habitat much smaller, like up to here. But then I did give them a much more generous plot of land. And I think we're gonna have another little polar bear walrus view here. And yeah, I think I had a lot of fun building this one as well. And then you get the sea otters right over here. And I don't want to spoil too much, but I kind of will, kind of a bit. I'm building something here for the future. The Bamboo Kingdom is coming. Just a quick, I'm workshopping on stuff. This is a blueprint. But you'll have a Chinese garden and a Chinese palace that I'm going to be inspired by actual blueprints, and a giant panda habitat. But that's still a lot of work in progress. Still need to get the grips of this architecture. This looked cool when I built it earlier, but I'm not sure about it anymore. But that is news for in the future. You will be seeing this build somewhere in September, I hope. Oh my god, am I gonna be able to finish this? Because I still need to do the elephants, and then I need to do the... Maybe I should skip the tropical dome. I don't know, you'll have to see. I am trying to get this finished before Plant Zoo 2. It would actually be an honor if someone would actually tour this zoo on YouTube as the way I have toured other people's zoo, but perhaps that is a bit of a pipe dream. Thank you so much for watching either way. You'll see me soon with zoo tours and or yeah, the Bamboo Kingdom part 1 or the whole deal. You'll have to see. Thank you so much for watching. I'm out.